Hello, beautiful people. I made a recent video about sharing is important to share information. And I don't know why I never shared this information, but I started to realize I need to make this video. I should have made this video a long time ago. This video is about the top 5 things that I feel like has reduced or eliminated my odor. And when I talk about odor, I'm not talking about typical body odor like mustiness. I'm talking about fecal body odor. I'm talking about when you eat certain foods and you can't detect the odor, but people saying you smell like shit. This is not some regular body odor thing. This is some mystery body odor that cannot be explained. But throughout the years, I had this for 15 years. That's maybe the start of when I was 14 or 15. I'm now 29. And I do want to go from 5 to 1, from least to greatest, of the 5 things that I think have eliminated my odor. So number 5. Number 5 is activated charcoal. Okay, so the first time I tried activated charcoal, I was pretty desperate. I was in my sophomore year in college. Maybe this is in 2010, 2011. And I was trying to find everything. I was scouring the internet. I was looking at certain tips. People say, oh, maybe you should try this, maybe you should try that. I've heard of activated charcoal a couple of times, so then I thought to myself, all right, let me try the shit. So I took the tablet form. They were actually in capsules, and I took like 1 or 2 a day, and it didn't get any results. So once I completely emptied the bottle, I just stopped doing it until like this year. I decided to try activated charcoal again, and I actually bought like a package of activated charcoal where you had to scoop out the activated charcoal, put in some water, and drink it. And when I used it in that type of activated charcoal, I did see a reduction in my odor. I do recall when I was working as a security officer, it was a night shift, and I was working as a shopping plaza. And you would think with the night shift there wouldn't be too many people there, but for some reason there were always people there, especially in certain restaurants. They would just stay out till 3 a.m. And whenever I had to do my rounds and pass by them, I would hear reactions. However, when I took the activated charcoal, I got less reactions. It didn't mean I didn't smell bad, but I got less reactions from them, especially not only with that, but with security work, there's people who have morning shifts, afternoon shifts, and night shifts. So me as being a nighttime officer, I would have to meet the afternoon shift guy in order to clock in and him to clock out. And I would notice him rub his nose and stuff and like that. When I didn't take any activated charcoal. But when I started to put like a scoop of activated charcoal, God damn it, let me just get it right now. Hold on. Hey, so this is what I'm talking about. There's a scoop inside of it. When I took a scoop and put it in water and drank it every day, I got less of the rub-nosing things when I was in close proximity with people. So I feel like it did work to a degree. I'm not saying it was 100% cured my thing. I'm saying like if my odor was at a 10, taking the activated charcoal was at a 9 or 8, depending on how much activated charcoal you take. And I do have to warn you that if you take too much, you might get constipated, and you should never take it long term. All right, let's go to number 4. So, okay, yeah, number 4 was exercising. Number 4 was exercising, but it's not necessarily exercising, it's more so sweating out the odor. So, within college, I had one of my worst times in college. One day I'm going to have a story, I'm going to do a story time about my college experience from freshman year to fucking sophomore year, because I was traumatized. I sort of feel traumatized of the experience, even though it was like 10 years ago. In any case, I had a really bad time. People talking shit, people giving me comments saying, oh, he smells like shit, wooty woo. Scouring the internet, trying to figure out what the fuck's wrong with me, what's going on. So what I started to think, my rationale at the time was maybe I should try to exercise. Because I feel like I noticed that whenever I sweat more, I get worse reactions. So my logic at the time was maybe there's like some type of toxins in my sweat and stuff, and if I sweat it out, I'm not going to smell bad anymore. So I couldn't do any exercise in the like when a lot of people were outside, so I did it early in the morning, like 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning, and I would get up and go running. I would get up and go running, run for 20 to 30 minutes, and I have hyperhidrosis, so it's a lot easier for me to sweat. So after 20 to 30 minutes, I'm pretty much soaked, and I did notice that I had less reactions. Again, I'm not gonna say that I was completely cured and stuff like that. If I was eating badly, right, I was eating food that, proliferated or exacerbated the odor, obviously I'm still gonna smell bad, but I smelled less bad when I exercise. So I don't know if I've heard things that people said that exercising is more important. Like if some people would prefer doing saunas, but I've heard people say that saunas is not as impactful as just doing like aerobic exercising, sweating out the odor. I don't know. I don't have a sauna, but I did notice that sweating out the odor did reduce it to a degree. I do feel like it reduced it more than just taking activated charcoal. So, and there was a point in time where in my sophomore year where I was like questioning if like sweating did help, like running, exercising every day did help, because I was tired of exercising every day. I was tired of waking up at 4 or 5 in the mornings just so I could exercise where there was going to be nobody around and do it in peace, because I knew that I would smell the worst if I was completely drenched in sweat, because if I was just a little bit sweaty, people give off reactions. So if I was drenched in sweat, I might smell like a goddamn, you know what I mean, like a trash dump or whatever. And so I decided not to exercise at all one day, and I took a bath, and I was getting ready to go to whatever, one of my classes and shit. So I passed by somebody at the dorm. I remember just passing by this one person at the dorm while he was exiting the bathroom. I remember overhearing him say as I was walking by or continuing walking forward, "Oh man, this guy smells like shit." And I'm like, what the fuck, right? So then I'm like, oh shit, I guess and throughout the day it was even worse. I had worse reactions as opposed to the reactions I would get if I actually exercised early in the morning. So exercising plays a key for me. Also, I want to make the argument, I want to say this too. A lot of people have been saying like, oh, if I do exercising, I smell worse. Of course you're gonna smell worse if you're expelling, whatever this shit is, whatever the substance that's making you smell terrible. That's why you're supposed to work out in an isolated environment where there's not that many people around, and then take a bath. I don't just get really sweaty and then go out in public. No, I get really sweaty, take a bath, and then go out in public, and I get less reactions. But number 3, let's talk about number 3. Number 3 is chlorophyll. Chlorophyll. I remember this is like in 2007, so I was like 17 at the time. I was having a bad time, and I was just scouring the internet again, scouring the fucking internet. What the fuck? Where can I need somebody to explain this shit to me. Looking at body odor, just like body smelling really bad, smelling like shit. I don't understand. And I would just get constant articles talking about, well, what you need to do is wash your ass, put on some deodorant, hey, maybe wear cologne. They would give me those types of superficial answers to hygienic problems. But there was this one article that pretty much had the same thing, but toward the end, it was talking about, hey, maybe you should try chlorophyll as an internal deodorizer. I'm like, chlorophyll, huh? Chlorophyll. So one day I bought a bottle of chlorophyll at like a Whole Foods type of market, and it was like somewhere around $8 to $9. And that's really important for me, because as a 17-year-old in high school, I didn't have a fucking job at all. Even though I was trying to pursue one, I could not get a job. And $8 to $9 is a lot, because that's like, I had to basically give up my Christmas and my birthday money just to buy this product. So I bought it. Remember the first time trying it, that shit was absolute terrible to me. I was like, right? And I was drinking within the bottle. it was in a glass bottle at the time. Hold on one moment. This is actually in a plastic bottle, but the original one was a glass bottle. It was a dark brown glass bottle, and it was from Nature's Way. And I remember drinking it the first time. I was gagging. I was like, what the fuck is this shit, right? And I didn't see any effects, right? So I was like, man, I just wasted a lot of money, right? But throughout the years, I do recall, like, if I took like double the amount of dosage. I remember reading that like in a message form, because I took it and I was like, oh, this is not effective. But I've heard somebody say you have to take double. Maybe if you take double or triple the dosage, I've seen positive effects. So it's like, I never thought about that. So then I started doing that. I started taking double or triple the dosage of Chlorophyll. That's the name of the thing. And I did see a reduction in reactions. So obviously it is working to a degree. The problem is there's about like 16 tablespoons, I believe. No, there's 2 tablespoons. There's 1 serving is 2 tablespoons, and there's 16 servings of these. So that means if you're going to take double the dosage, you're only going to have like 8 days. If you take double the dosage, it's going to be 8 days. And if you take triple the dosage, it's going to be like 4 to 5 days. So you're going to probably spend $8 to $9 every week just to take triple the dosage and see the reduction in your odor. So it does work, and you do have to refrigerate it, but at the same time, it's going to add up. It's going to be very expensive. That was the third reason. Now the second most effective thing that has reduced or eliminated my odor was probiotics. So again, in college, I was really like, every time I left class or I had a bad day, I would research, look into a lot of shit. Like, what the fuck is going on, right? And you know, I've heard like success stories about probiotics, taking certain probiotics and stuff like that. And I do recall there's like 2 instances in my life where I saw positive effects. One was during winter break. I was in winter break, but I was like 2 days or a day from going back to spring semester in college. And my mother bought me some type of some products, some type of probiotic supplements that had 2 billion per capsule. And I decided to take, I don't know, I think I took like 2 to 4. I usually just took 1, but I just took 2 to 4. I'm like, fuck this shit. Because I was desperate, right? And I thought like the way I had to go back to college, I had to take like a public bus. So I felt like once I got on a public bus, I'm gonna smell bad, right? But I didn't get any reactions. I didn't hear any comments at all. And even when I got back on the campus, I thought, you know, that was very weird. I didn't hear any comments. But as I continued to go back on the campus and, you know, go to the cafeteria, walk around where, you know, people are walking past me and shit, I would think I would hear comments. I didn't hear any comments at all. I didn't hear any comments. Matter of fact, I heard Paula's comments. Matter of fact, he doesn't smell anymore. Or they would say, you know, like chicks, you know how like you're a guy and shit and you smell like shit. And personal talk here. You're a guy and you smell like shit. And then one day, you don't smell like shit anymore. There's like women who found you attractive, but since you smell bad, they like stay away. But now that you don't smell bad, they're getting closer to you. They try to be in your presence and say, oh yeah, I just accidentally came here for no reason. It was no reason why I came here. Like, you know how like women try to put themselves in positions just to like get themselves noticed. I started noticing that too. Women that I clearly can tell were attracted to me now started getting closer to me. Yeah, so then I was like, okay, that's interesting. So I felt like, okay, maybe I just need to constantly get probiotics, but those shits are expensive. They were like 20 to 30 bucks, and I was a broke college student, so I wasn't able to do it. The second time I was able to pull it off was like in 2015, and I took a handful of probiotics, and I can tell you the name of it. It was like Dr. Tobias something. Hopefully I showed in the image, and I put like a large, I don't even know how much it was, maybe like 6 to 12 capsules in one swallow or whatever. And throughout like maybe a year and a half, I didn't smell bad at all. That's a long story about that, because I went to the mental hospital. I was in a really fucked up state at 2015, but that's a long story. But I wanted to just highlight like the time that I was in college and the time that I was actually in, I was like working in 2015, I noticed a reduction in my odor. Now, the number one thing that I've noticed completely reduces or eliminates the odor is diet. Obviously, diet. But here's the thing, diet is very tricky. Most people don't know what to eat. And I have the answer for you. The answer is, I don't know what the fuck to eat either. I sort of don't know what the fuck to eat. The thing about it is, throughout the years, I had this for 15 years, and I used to think, I tried so many diets. I remember trying the Candida diet. I remember trying the alkaline diet. I remember trying like, I'm sort of like trying the keto diet right now, but I'm broke. I'm always broke. Every fucking year, I'm just broke. Every stage of my life, I'm always broke and struggling and needing cash or some shit. But that's besides the point. So, what the fuck was I saying? Oh yeah, okay. So, I tried so many diets, and some of them worked. Like, there was a point in time when I was going back to college. I know that I keep talking about college, or keep referring to college. I had a really bad time in my freshman year, and there was this one point in my life where I decided, okay, I'm just gonna eat only apples. An apple every hour. That's all I'm gonna eat. And I just drink water. And I did that, and I got success. So that made me start to think, oh, okay, there's something here. So the second semester, when I had to return back, I was like, okay, maybe I just should only eat fruits. But I wasn't able to replicate the same type of success at all. It's like I still smelled bad, even though I was like really starving, and all I was eating apples and sometimes oranges. But I was completely starving, and I didn't receive got the same success, and I would crash on my diet. Like I would relapse on my diet all the time. So, but at the same time, I thought to myself, maybe I'm just doing something wrong. Throughout the years, I used to think that just eating only fruits or something like that, because that's what I used to do, just eat only fruits would just help me. That shit doesn't help me that much. And another thing is, throughout like the last couple of months, I've been constantly like trying to figure out what the fuck, maybe I have T-mal, so I started just having a no choline diet. So I was eating only like rice and egg whites, but I still got like bad reactions. Then there was like a fecal body odor diet that I discovered, and I wanted to make a video about that, where it was talking about how there's certain types of amino acids that are found in proteins that produces indole. There's some type of bacteria that will produce indole that have an offensive smell. So not only would like amino acids, but it would be some sugars and alcohol that would exacerbate your odor. So he compiled, this guy named, I think Dr. Coots or whatever his name, he compiled a list of what foods you should eat that's low in these amino acids, sugars, and alcohols. So I was just eating basically like potatoes and rice because I was like the lowest form. Still get reactions. So I'm like, what the fuck? This said it was a fecal body odor diet. People keep saying I smell like shit, so I don't understand. All I can tell you is, like, I can tell you the things that make me smell worse. And it was meat. That's meat. I think it's like beans. I don't know if eggs makes me smell worse. People say it does. I don't know. People say it has sulfur content. I don't think I had so much bad experience from eggs as I did like meat and eating beans or something like that. Obviously dairy, like milk, ice cream. I don't know if cheese makes me smell worse, but I would assume so. Gluten. I think gluten has contributes to some type of odor. And I also feel that, processed foods in general. Sugar, obviously, sugar found in fruit, and sugar just found in just like, industrialized sugar or white sugar found in many foods, because I just made a video the other day that a great portion of supermarket foods have sugar injected into them so they can taste better and and be more addictive. So once you start to realize, I just named all these things, and that's probably like 90% of all the foods most people are gonna eat. It's like, what the fuck do you eat? I don't fucking know, but I do starting to feel like just eating vegetables in general is gonna make you smell less. Like, eating celery, eating spinach, eating squash, eating eggplants, eating carrots and stuff like that. However, the problem is, like, you can't really just live a life eating like a rabbit, just eating like celery and stalks and goddamn carrots. You know, you do need protein. So it puts you in a terrible position, because you're like, what the fuck am I gonna do? But I do think that if you do eat more vegetables, I noticed, like, sometimes when I was working at the Cultural Arts Center, I was working as it's basically a security guard. I was a BA attendant at some cultural arts theater. I was, there was a time where I was only eating salads. And I was starving as hell. I was completely starving. And even then, people would act like I smelled bad, but it was severely less. So much so that there's this guy, like, that was supposed to be my supervisor. He would always keep a distance toward me. But there was this one time where I was only eating salads. He would be so fucking close to me, like right to my shoulder, which was extremely weird. I was looking at this guy and I'm like, oh shit, I probably don't smell at all. Because how it looked, because I'm like noticing and analyzing how fucking close this motherfucker was to me. But again, it's not sustainable just to eat salads for the rest of your life. But yeah, I did notice that, and obviously, even if you did eat salads for the rest of your life, you're probably not gonna smell bad if you do have fecal body odor or this obnoxious odorous odor. So yeah, those are the top 5 things. I did want to say this about the probiotics thing. I haven't tried too much food probiotics in college. I'm always referring back to college. I was really in my experimental stage. I did try sauerkraut. I did try kefir or whatever the fuck. I never tried kombucha, but I was reading a lot of information, and I've seen some other videos of people confirming that kefir helped them or kombucha helped them. So now I'm thinking about going back on this kefir thing. Hold up, one moment. Hold up. I literally bought like 2 bottles of kefir. Hold up. Lifeway kefir. And I've heard that it's better to just make your own type of kefir, so I'm thinking about doing that. When I get a handsome check coming in, I'm gonna start, experimenting and trying to do my own kefir and kombucha, bottled up with the kefir, whatever the fuck. So yeah, those are the top 5 things that I think you should know. And hopefully it helps for people. It's important to share information, okay? Bye.